All right, welcome to the inaugural Ottawa Real Estate Chat. This is going to be a little informational show on real estate in Ottawa. My name is Dave Williams. I'm the Business Development Manager here for Home Team Ottawa. And
I'm Bill Meyer, kind of owner and founder of Home Team Ottawa, one of Ottawa's top selling real estate teams.
So you've had a lot of questions about what's going on in the Ottawa real estate market. So I wanted to start off, Bill, with a high-level look at why is the Ottawa real estate market the way it is today? Can you explain to the folks what's going on the macro level?
Okay, well, there's 4 or 5 key elements that have all kind of come together, to give us the market we have today. It's very much a seller's market, which you may have heard in the media. What that means is really there's a lack of inventory for buyers to look at, so sellers have the upper hand in negotiation. Real estate, like any commodity, is driven by supply and demand. So supply is low, demand is high. What's caused this? Well, it really is going back almost 4 years, almost 5 years now. The new government, when they came in, they expanded hiring, and for Ottawa, that's a big difference. The government is the #1 employer in the city, so certainly the job security was a lot more comfortable. High tech is the second highest employment industry, and it is really booming out in the Canada area. What we've seen is a lot of new companies moving into the Ottawa area. A lot has to do with the prices of homes in the Southern Ontario and Toronto region. There's never been a larger discrepancy between prices in Ottawa and prices in Toronto. And employers or small tech companies that are looking to grow, it's hard for them to attract people to their company because it's just so expensive to live in the Southern Ontario, Toronto region. The hospitals are hiring, the universities are expanding, foreign students are coming into the market, so you've got, the lack of building that happened over the last 3 to 4 years, especially in the condo sector, because they were overbuilt for a number of years, they stopped building, and now that inventory has all been bought up. And another area is Airbnb. There are about 1,400 Airbnbs in Ottawa, which used to be homes for sale and or rental accommodation. So a combination of all those things has given us a lack of inventory. Interest rates are still very low. The employment and wage, the average wage of the household here in Ottawa is quite high, and people can afford an average price home. So that's what's really caused the market to see increases as far as prices. We've been up about 8% over this time last year in both houses and condominiums. So prices are going up, inventory is low, and sellers have the upper hand.
Now, as we know, real estate's local, so a lot of that has to do with certain pockets that are moving. Mm-hmm. Now, in Ottawa, there's a big infrastructure project that's about to come online.
Sure.
The first phase of the LRT. Yeah. So what do you see that doing to the neighborhoods around the LRT stations?
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, the local zoning was changed within about a 600-meter radius around each of the stations themselves to an R5 zoning to allow for more density. There's no question that transportation is one of the driving factors when people are looking for a home to buy. So that in itself has allowed for more building around, let's call it the downtown core stations, okay? But now as the LRT is coming online, we're starting to see, we'll see areas like the Blair Road. I mean, as the LRT goes out to Blair Road, there's a number of high-rises, both apartments and condominiums that are going to be built near the LRT stations, and as well as we go to the West End in the Moody area, we see a community like Bell's Corners, which is again had some average growth as most of the greater Ottawa has, but we may very well start to see greater growth in the east and west because of the LRT stations.
Now, if you were looking to invest in real estate in Ottawa, mm-hmm. Especially considering some of the things that we've just talked about, the universities, the LRT, where do you see being good areas to invest in Ottawa?
Well, it really depends on what you're looking for in an investment, whether that's cash flow or you're looking for, you could be in student areas around the universities, Ottawa U Carleton, or even the Woodruff campus of the Algonquin College. There's no question that students, they pay a little more for rent than the average person. It's a little more work, but certainly we've seen a lot of properties being converted from single-family homes to duplexes, or having a secondary dwelling in the basement where they're putting in 2 or 3 more bedrooms and having housing for 4 or 5 or 6 students, which will bring you some good cash flow. But also there's some work involved in being a landlord of students. Single-family homes, again, as I say, we've seen an appreciation of about 8 or 9% with single-family homes throughout the kind of the greater area, or Ottawa area, within the green belt. Okay. If you're looking for, there's a lot of new build that will be coming on the market, or is starting to come on the market right now. So if you're the type of investor that would say, hey, I would like to, I want more of a hands-off, and you're buying 2 or 3 condominium pre-built, you could see some good appreciation before you even, take possession of the property. On the other hand, you might be like 25% or 35% of all the other buyers or investors, in that when the property is built, you're all looking for tenants. Okay, so there's some risks, no matter which type of investment you're looking for. So it really does depend. Going back to what I said earlier about light rail transit, there may very well be some great opportunities, to look in the outer areas, again in the Blair Road or in the Mooney Drive, Bell's Corners area. If you want to mature neighborhoods, typically we've seen a lot of good growth in the mature neighborhoods of, let's call it the old Nepean or Alta Vista, whether it's Glaybar Park, Copeland Park, kind of the 40 to 50-year-old communities that are mature, that young families are looking to move into. Well, now that will expand a little further because of the light rail transit and the ease to downtown core and to employment sectors.
All right, and here's one question that we didn't really prepare, but I know you're capable of talking to. We've been hearing from a lot of buyers with the growth, this 8% price going up year over year, is when's it gonna stop at the top? And can I wait for it to hit the top and come back down?
Sure. Will it come back down though? So basically over the last 60 years, Ottawa has seen 5 years where prices in 1 year were lower than the year before. So the prices actually dropped. There's been a few years where prices stayed the same, but there's only been 5 years where a price has actually been lower than the year before, on average. Okay, on average. There's always special circumstances, but and then within a 3-year period, the prices have always been higher than what they were. So it really depends on if you're buying something right now and you're going to hold it for a year because you plan on selling it. It might be risky. It's possible that prices won't go up anymore. On the other hand, we can only look at history to predict the future, and there's no indication, especially in the short run, I would say, because of the lack of inventory over the next couple of years. It's going to take a few years to build up that inventory to a balanced market. I don't think you're going to see prices actually come down. You may not see growth as great as we've seen it in the last 2 years or in the next year or two, but I don't think you'll ever see in Ottawa in the near future a bubble that bursts and all of a sudden prices are 10% lower than they were before. When it has happened, it's been 2 or 3%, and as I say, within a year or two, prices have been right back up.
Great. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, some common questions that you've been hearing from folks as you chat about real estate?
Well, some people do. Again, kind of expand on that last question, ask, is this the time to buy if this is a seller's market? And the answer is yes, because again, there's a certain cost of waiting. If prices are going, for easy math, let's use 10%. If prices are going up 10%, then that $400,000 home today quite possibly would be worth $440,000 next year. So some people say, oh, I got to save a little more. I'm going to wait and see. There's a cost of waiting. So my advice is, if you're in a position that you can own real estate, it's time to buy real estate. Okay, I think there's the best way to invest is just to get started. You just got to get started. But hire a professional, okay? Because somebody can really sit down with you. A good professional real estate agent really is a local economist. They can really help you understand the investment you're making, and make sure that you avoid as many pitfalls as possible. So I would say get in the market, but more importantly, get yourself a professional realtor to help you get in the market.
Good. And as always, real estate is local and it's individual. So again, this is general advice that we're offering as we chat here online, but the important thing to remember is it might be different for you. As always, we've got a team of professional realtors that are always welcome to sit down with you, chat about the real estate, your specific area, your specific circumstances to help find the right customized real estate plan for you. So if you'd like to chat, give us a call, 613-788-2113. And if there's any topics that you'd like Bill and I to chat about in the near future, drop them in the comments below. We'll be happy to take a look at them, take a look at what's going on in your specific neighborhoods, make some suggestions for you.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, until next time, take care.
Have a great day.